Welcome back from the extended break, everybody. 9 p.m. Eastern is officially here, which means we get to conclude the second half of our Marvel Rivals Monday doubleheader here for the first time this year on the PCL. Jobin and Nassim, and we had a very one-sided series to kick us off. Kennesaw with a dominant 3-0 win over Albright, and Kennesaw, I mean, having more info, obviously, they're like 27-2 in game/map score on the year, so they have just been body bagging everybody. We get to take on two more undefeated teams. It's going to be the University of Oregon taking on Modesto Junior College. And again, at least on paper, we thought the last series would be a little more even on paper. Ended up not being the case, hoping that this one is a little bit more competitive, at least early on in the series.
Yeah, it still is, just the start of the semester. So there are going to be quite a few teams that may have, a 2-0, 1-0 lead, but, it really takes time to sit here and watch and see what the performance is like and what these teams are actually capable of, against, different names. So with that being said, we do have rosters ready up for
Boom,
both
boom.
sides.
There we go. All right,
For the side
for
of
this.
Oregon,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
the side
no,
of
take it
Oregon are
away.
the
Take it away.
Ducks. Tidius, Choppa, Bang, Bangarang, EVP Maddox, Sand City, and Error Codes 504. Love
Error
that
code
one.
5. That's going to give me PTSD from anything breaking in any technology ever. You hear the blue screen audio for the side of Modesto Junior College. Just the burger. Luna Noctis, Snow, maybe Static, the Hoagie. So we've got an entire Italian deli/restaurant on the side of Modesto. And then we've got Young Whale to round out the roster. Certainly some phenomenal names. Hoping that the gameplay is going to be at least somewhat sufficient to what the names were. And at least for Oregon, we have seen them in a lot of other leagues in the PCL. We've seen them in Valorant, Overwatch, I believe in Rocket League at some point as well. Modesto, admittedly, and even from the info we got, it's basically a brand new program. They're the typical esports story of, hey, 10 of us wanted to play games. We made a Discord server. We asked the school if we could make a club. We did so, and now we get to play in competitives and officials. So very, very fun to see, especially a game that is as new as Marvel, which is it's crazy how many people are just picking up this game, especially in college.
Yeah, and just something like that. That's what it's all about, right? Just students, players getting together, just trying to start a team, trying to get something going for you know, their school, whether it's a club team or, they ended up going and making something big out of it. Just the involvement overall, as we see a lot of these teams coming in, it's a lot of big schools all over getting involved, and especially in Rivals, as popular as it is.
Finally get to see the ban and protect phase to get us going here on Hell's Heaven. Of course, domination, map 1, domination, convoy, convergence, and then essentially run back the latter half to finish off the series. If we do need to go that far, there will be no sharking around in map 1 at least. Jeff is going to be banned out. We're going to see the Venom get banned out away, or as well. And ultimately, both of these teams, and we saw very good, we saw a few decent Moon Knight plays. We saw the Winter Soldier have a prime like stasis in the last series. We saw a few Groots that had very, very high impact. So curious to see exactly if we're going to see sort of the same meta comp, or maybe we'll see something a little bit more out of pocket. I mean, there's just, it's crazy. The game's like, what, 2 years old? There's like 50 heroes in the game already.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. So the game came out, and I just remember playing it for a good little bit, and then as time went on, I think there was like quite a few heroes came out. I think the big one was like the Fantastic Four update, where they split it up. But I think the most recent ones we got are, yeah, Daredevil, not Daredevil, excuse me, Deadpool, one of the big recent ones, and I think the latest one is a DPS character. But yeah, Gambit being a new one as well, new hero that is very strong. Also has that Magneto team up that essentially gives him, what Scarlet Witch had with that team up in Mag, and that extra primary fire. But Elsa Bloodstone being the also another DPS added in the lineup that we haven't seen tonight.
She is. I checked I actually dug into the rule book. They're on restriction for 3 more days because they're still new. There's one map and then Bloodstone is taken out. Yeah, because I dug in just to check all the rules to just make sure I had all my dots, my bases covered. And yeah, that hero is banned out, I think February 26th or 27th. So theoretically, if we do any other Marvel the rest of the year, they will be unhandcuffed. They will be available to play, which is why we haven't seen it. Because normally, right, new hero, ooh, gimme, let me try the new shiny toy. But certainly haven't seen it yet, as we do see the last bans coming through. Winter Soldier and Wolverine getting banned out on one side, Moon Knight and Daredevil getting protected on the other. So somebody is certainly looking to do some damage.
Yeah, and we see the Daredevil come out from Loon. Definitely want to see what that entails and what that comes with, because Daredevil can get you a lot of value. He has a very interesting kit overall that can just punish stragglers, punish people who are alone. You can get in there, dive on some supports, and essentially they can't do anything. They just have to sit there and accept what comes with it. But you do have dive from both sides. Black Panther coming from Oregon, and Tidius with that Hulk pick, but Young Whale is going to switch off of the mag. I think he was hovering over it before, so they're not going to run that mag Gambit team up.
One thing I do actually really like about Marvel, and it even goes back to their old, I mean, this is really uncouth, but their old arcade cabinets, Capcom the fighting game, which kind of introduced the tag team mechanic into the fighting game sphere, which has obviously now made it into the hero shooter. That is the one thing I think that is really actually like sick with Marvel that genuinely no other game has. Like obviously other comps and other games have things that synergize well, like in League of Legends and Overwatch, but there's no two characters that directly just chain combos together, and it's very, very exciting. It opens up so much more versatility and a lot more to the play styles as well. We are going to see, though, Hulk will be getting knocked on behind for a quick second, as Oregon and Modesto both going toe-to-toe here, but it is going to be Bangarang finding the first 2 kills of the fight. Young Whale is going to get stunned down there for a minute. The health is enough to regen them back to full. Oregon did find a few picks, and it looks like they're going to gain some decent capture progress, as Young Whale looks to take to the back line with that Thor, and it is going to be the capture for the Ducks.
Bangarang is going to get taken out, but they already have a good amount of progress here pushed up. But as I say that, their row goes down as well, and Young Whale pushing up on them with Thor, creating the space. That Daredevil from Loon coming in, and you see the value that it's able to get as 3 go down for Oregon. Thor is punishing this Hulk. Quick swap over there. Only 20% able to get through for the side of Oregon. Now they just hold. Switch is going to come out for Maddox as he's going to hop off the Punisher and go to the Namor. Yeah, definitely. The thing with Punisher is, you know, he can get a lot of damage in, but he sort of suffers from that that pre-patch Warlock thing with he has no mobility. He's straight feet, can't really move around, so you can use your shotgun, you can use your rifle, you can get as much damage as possible, but second anyone thinks about coming towards your way, you're just tiptoeing. You get no speed, no mobility. Yeah. you
That's the
get
trade-off, right? You
someone
be
decides,
a walking
right.
death machine. Yeah. You can be the
yeah, literally a walking
death
death
get
machine.
Caught out. Like genuinely, yeah, you pull out the minigun and say, okay, like who wants to have some of this? But yeah, if you get caught out, you get isolated, you will eventually lose the fight. PvP Maddox able to get active in the server as well, able to find a few kills for themselves. Oregon looking to flip the point back finally. It is a lot of percentage going the way of Modesto though, and they're still able to put the contest up for now. 72%, maybe the last one they get before it flips back to the Ducks. And Oregon Green able to win another team fight, a few nice picks. We do see Choppa falling in the second engagement though, so Modesto can maybe look at the go button right now. They're going to pop the Daredevil ulti with Loon. Possibly see if they can find any more of these extra kills, or at least get it ready to set somebody up to follow through. We are going to see another ultimate get invested as well, and the Ducks are going scrambling because they are dropping like flies right now. That is 3 of them dead in the blink of an eye. And now you've got Young Whale running Tidius back to the spawn.
Yeah, you see that Daredevil. He's able to get a lot of spacing, a lot of just pressure up. And Desto is going to take that point back. And you see Mr. Yancey Street himself, Ben Grimm, the Thing, come out as he tries to push through, get on point and contest it. Maddox getting a quick early pick. Gonna be able to take out their tank. Support out comes out from Burger. Oh, but Oregon is not able to find anything else after that pick from Maddox, and the rest of their team just falls down and bangerang. It's going to be the last one, isn't going to be able to get anything, and Modesto is going to go ahead and take that first point.
Yeah, I mean, fairly good back and forth. The Ducks definitely showed some good stuff in some of the team fights, but you talked about the Daredevil being extremely strong, and then you were proven correctly maybe 1.5 minutes later where it sets up with the ulti, chunks 3 to 4 players down to like 45-ish%, and then the teamwork out of Modesto was very, very solid to follow through. We saw the big ulti out of Burger, and then obviously maybe Static scoops up a couple kills on the Gambit, which you talked about in the pre-show as well. So definitely taking some of the new heroes and doing extremely well with them so far. Oregon, they are playing some of the same heroes. They just haven't found that same level of success. But I will give credit to Maddox. They found 4 or 5 first bloods in a lot of those fights, but Oregon just couldn't really get any follow-up.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're going to have a triple tank on the side of Oregon as that Deadpool comes out. He's running the Vanguard tank. So, well, the thing with Deadpool as well is people find a lot more value with him with either his tank or either support. Oh, looks like Oregon is going to call a pause here.
Yeah, Maddox, maybe connection issue. I'm pretty sure like in other games it would show if somebody actually dropped out of the lobby. I don't actually know for sure though, because every game is obviously made different, and that doesn't necessarily constitute that,
Well,
but we'll wait about 20, 25 seconds. If the pause doesn't end up lifting, then we probably will just cut it to a break in case we don't know, because obviously we've got to wait for the teams to give us any info. Matter of fact, we will just go to a 30-second break and give the teams a second to figure it out until we get an update. We will update y'all ASAP, and we will continue with map 1 in the PCL with more Marvel, the Ducks versus Modesto. Catch y'all in a minute. Luckily, the tech issue has been resolved, and just as we jump back into the fight, Modesto, they must have been mad about the pause, Cheese, because they came out of the timeout and they took care of everybody not named Tidius or Choppa, and Choppa is a single health point.
Yeah, they come out swinging and take the point with efficiency, but Choppa is having that ping swap, so he wasn't able to get much of an impact in the last round from the swap, so I do think that the Thing could help out at least a bit more here, some of these matchups, but he gets immediately eliminated, and that Daredevil is going through and finding value. Thor is isolated. He's just gonna back off.
Daredevil definitely looks pretty strong, especially the way Loon Noctis has been playing it. And yeah, you mentioned the thing certainly can be a good idea, but they just haven't really had a chance. I mean, truth be told, anyone outside of Maddox just hasn't really been finding the impact that they're looking for. They just have to stick together as a team more, mind these ultimates of Modesto, because they're just getting absolutely wombo comboed what feels like at the perfect time every time. And that is no way to try to win a team fight. We are going to see Maddox try to stay alive in the 1v5 as he will back off the safety. But one of your tanks has now fallen. Although Sanctity and Maddox, they do find a very good response. So we do see nice fights like this out of the Ducks. I wish they were able to get online a little earlier, because they have fights like this where they just look so much better.
Yeah, and they take point, and they had point twice last round. They were only able to get around 20% each. Hopefully, even if they get above 40, they'll be able to beat their progression last round. Not many ults online. They have the big one from Error Code and that Invisawall. Tidius gonna be able to. He's gonna need to play these corners well. He's gonna need to play chokes well and at least get something and sort of hold off the supports. That Daredevil, his ult comes out.
Died?
Shields go down. Oh, Phoenix ult takes care.
The Daredevil.
An exchange of ults going back and forth. Swinging, going around. Thor's going down.
That's 3. You've captured more than half.
And Modesto ends up with it. But a good amount of time for Oregon as they get 52% up on the board. 25% behind, and I think, what was it? Only 2 people left in the entire lobby that stood up from that fight.
Yeah. After Loon Noctis pops the ultimate on the Daredevil, thinking they're going to make that 1v5 play again, they get vaporized before the ulti could even really finish fully casting, and then I'm thinking that Modesto's going to have a free loose fight. Oregon says, that's funny, we got something for you. Modesto battles back. Ultimately, they do find a big fight win. Now we're going to have maybe Static trying to get active with the ultimate, doing a lot of damage. The Daredevil still wheeling and dealing. Choppa is finally able to find some sort of exchange. And the Ducks are digging in. There's only 2 players left alive from Modesto on the point. They will get halted at a meager 99%. But ultimately, Oregon will have to hang on here. The percentage does take a fair bit of time. It's not, I don't think it's maybe 1.5 seconds per percent, 1 second per percent. So it's going to be plenty of time for Modesto to get back over here. Young Whale has an ulti ready to go. And we're going to see if they can hit that disgusting combo that we've seen a few times.
And Choppa with this Eye of Agamotto, he's going to need to stay up and play his life a little bit to get some sort of value out of that. We have 3 ults and it's all from the tanks. Shields come out early for the side of Oregon. Error Code throws it down, but Eye of Agamotto isn't able to find much. I think it found 1 right there, but Tidius is just going in deep. He's just going to handle it himself, throwing hammers and hands, pushing Modesto back, and it looks like Oregon is going to able to tie it up and bring us to round 3. Wow, that was... I'm not sure if you saw earlier, but Maddox in that second to last team fight right there, he was back 1v3ing them. He used his ult. He didn't get anything, but it was enough to stall for their team to win that fight in the overtime and take the point over.
Listen, it's not always going to show up in the stat sheet or the kill feed, but a good play is a good play, especially from somebody that was finding those kills in a lot of the fights and giving Oregon at least a chance in the first round here of domination. But Modesto, ultimately, they just didn't really have that many ultimates left online at the last team fight. I think we saw the Hoagie get taken down before the fight really even got started. Modesto certainly wasn't ready for the fight to get started like that. And losing, I mean, even though it is a 6v6 and there are a lot of players in the server, losing a player that has a key role at the wrong time or losing a set of very important cooldowns, sometimes that is an absolute death sentence. And I give a lot of credit to Oregon because they battled back after a rough round 1, and they put together a lot of really good fights at the end there.
Yeah, that bubble is definitely helping for Bangarang. But Snow pulling out the Punisher. saying, you know, all these tanks, you might as well just send some shots down range and just start chipping away at these absolute walls. As a few picks come in for Modesto. Some trades going around. A little bit more even this time around as far as the first exchange.
Oh my god, it's literally it's been 1-for-1 the entire game, even up to this point as well. We do see Choppa on the Strange able to lock down the point. The Ducks did scoop up the first capture, so for the first time this map, they're actually going to technically have a lead in the map and in the series. Is see how long they can actually lock down the point. There are obviously a lot of ultimates for either side right now. Static and Snow both going to lead in with theirs. Looking to see if they can find any more executes. Yep, punishment is being distributed amongst the server. That is a triple kill for Snow. Another kill going to be scooped up by Static on the backside of their ultimate. And the double DPS absolutely mollywop the Ducks. Luckily, they get a nice 24%, but they will be forced to reset.
Yeah, and that's 2 ults invested for Modesto. They used that Gambit and Punisher ult. Little tag team there, but even melting it through the Visishield. The Hulk and Thor team up. Conchu. The Moon Knight ult comes out, finds 1. 2 more go down for Oregon, and Modesto has this advantage pushing up. They're just pushing them back to spawn. Trying to create as much space, get as much time.
Oh my goodness. The Hulk and Thor, I feel like I have seen this before on the big screen. Certainly still looks very, very effective, especially against the 1 HP support that essentially has to stand there until death is given. Modesto, now, this is kind of what we saw in the first round out of them, where they win a big team fight or two, only using 1 or 2 ultimates in many instances. And speaking of ultimates, we are going to see Whale going in, and it's going to be error code caught out again. Same result in the same exact place on the map as well, but the turnaround is insane from the Ducks. They're going to kill every single player not named the Hoagie, and that means they're going to be able to flip the point with ease. Just as I was giving Modesto that premium gas, they get wiped at him.
Yeah, you find the kill on error code and their big support right there, but the rest of your team just goes on behind you, and you have nothing to support you after that. They take point. Gambit ult comes out from Maybastic on Modesto, and ults go, yeah, they're throwing Qs back and forth. Ults all around. 4 down for Modesto, for Oregon, excuse me. Modesto makes quick work of it and takes back their point. I think there was what? It was 5 ults total used during that fight. 3 from Modesto, 2 from Oregon. Tidius still does have his ult.
Yeah, I saw Hoagie maybe looking for a flank angle too, but I think Tidius having that ultimate might be a bit of a big problem. The Thor looking to see if they can have the pop-off moment to try to swing the fight in the Ducks' favor. Modesto, though, they're going to pop the ultimate with Snow yet again. The Punisher has been cooking all game long, but the double tanks of Maddox and Tidius able to just win the fight for Oregon. So, honestly, it feels like a lot of weird fights here, where one team seemingly winning very hard, and then all 4 of their players are just getting neutralized in the span of 5 seconds. Modesto stopped at 99%, so the Ducks will have another chance. We saw this exact sort of scenario in that second round as well, so 1 or 2 more big fights right now, and I think Oregon might be looking good to close this one out.
I think Choppa was playing that top area up there. Yeah, he's going to be looking for a big ult. Try to stall out and at least, win a fight without maybe using any other ult, but Tidius gets his cut down to 50%. Choppa isn't able to find anything off of that. He goes down. Maddox gets the trade. Bangering ult comes out, error code, Visishield. Maddox is close to his ult right here. If he can get it and drop it down, it could probably help the fight for the Ducks. Big ult from Tidius. Drops 3. Oak left up.
Oh my god.
Hoagie, all he has to do is stall.
Got the ult. Oh!
Just has to stall.
Oh! He's still stalling! Modesto's actually made it back. Static, Snow, and Loon are all going to be back in the fight now, and Oregon's the one with 3 players.
Oh my goodness!
I thought they locked in the map, but it looks like Modesto hit him with the Uno reverse card. Now the Gambit's back online, Shoes on the other foot, and now it's Oregon that are scrambling to try to make it back to the point. And they will not be able to answer the final bell. I was literally about to get ready to say Oregon with an incredible second half of the map. They go on a beautiful run to close things out. And then all the credit in the world to that Hulk for popping the ulti, stalling for maybe 25 seconds by themselves, 20 seconds, which in a hero shooter might as well be 2 weeks business days. That was insane out of the front line from Modesto. It literally couldn't have been a closer game in any which way. But yeah, I mean, just insane clutch at the end to close out the map.
Yeah, great stats all around. I mean, wild plays you see, and the stats really don't highlight it. You know, the what was it? The Maddox with some of his plays on that Neymar definitely were able to win some fights, even if he wasn't, you know, getting the final KO. But Hoagie, right there, he was able to pull the ult out, and all he needed to do was simply exist and be alive on that point, and he did it just enough time for his team to come in and take it a round in which they probably should have lost towards the end there, but they definitely showed out and fighting for it. So.
You know, those teammates were in spectate, just like watching their teammate, like, will they be able to stall out the entire way? Like, are we actually going to be able to make this? And then, yeah, just enough HP in the pool to live. The DPS come flooding back in, and then it is good night for the Ducks. So certainly as even a map 1 as you could possibly ask, as is standard procedure in Rivals. Oregon will get control of the series now, in which they will get to pick the map, and we will go to a very quick break. Should be very, very fast. These Marvel players are seemingly on top of their business, which I do respect very much. It'll be Oregon's pick to see if they can tie up the series here in the PCL. We come back with Marvel Rivals in a few.
My name is Adeline. This is my dad, Aaron.
My first 24 hours of fatherhood, I discovered my daughter has this terrible disease that was trying to kill her in that moment. And oh, by the way, I have it too, and it's a miracle that it hadn't killed me. So this is our automated external defibrillator. We bring it everywhere Adeline goes because Adeline has a heart condition called long QT syndrome. Long QT syndrome is a genetic disease, which means the only way she got it is because of one of her parents, and this disease was passed on from generation to generation. It had been killing everyone in our family for years, and we just didn't know about it. Usually the first symptom of long QT syndrome is death. With Adeline, we found out about it as soon as humanly possible. And because of that, we know about it and we can protect her. She hasn't had another event since she was a baby, and it's because we've been able to put the protections in place.
We are back with a barn burner map 1 officially behind us. The Oregon Ducks fell a little bit short of the might of Modesto here. It was very, very back and forth. It was 100-99 on the last point of domination. It looked like a win for Oregon, and then victory was snatched from the jaws of defeat by the side of Modesto, which means Oregon is now going to take us over to Spider Islands as we set up Convoy, our second game mode. Looks like Jeff and Venom will both still not be attending, both banned out in the first phase.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a slugfest that last match. University of Oregon almost coming back, taking it, and see how they feel, coming into their pick. They have that same fight and maybe amped up a little bit more. We see Iron Fist coming into the Protect for their side. Looks like
they got cooked up.
Looks like we're gonna get a few of the same picks. That Angarang coming out with the Deadpool Hank again.
Sanctity, I believe, was on the Gambit last time as well, and Error Code also going to be picking up the same hero. So yeah, not too many swaps, at least in the early going. Obviously, there is still ample time to make changes. Choppa hovering the Groot as well. Certainly seen that. Essentially, since Marvel came out, Groot has just definitively been one of the better frontliners, just with the massive health pool and the ability to zone off enemies and just generally be annoying to deal with, which is a core component of being in a hero shooter and being a strong pick, is how annoying does the other team have to deal with you and just how much can you shake the game up. It looks like the Winter Soldier will now be protected on the other side as well. We definitely saw some insane plays out of that earlier as well, so I'll be excited to see any of these DPS get to pick that up, as we've got a few more protects and bans left, one each left per side, but looks like we generally have an idea for the comps at this point. Tidius and Burger, the only two that are still Himan and Han.
Yeah, and the Groot has that wall that just makes him immune to all CC, so that's definitely a fun little ability to have. We saw, crazy plays in our last match from Vendetta on that group.
All right, another protect. It is going to be the usual suspects. Thor will be allowed yet again. We have seen, this character has been taking over every single game today. It feels like all 4 of the maps that we played, we've seen a Thor running down the back line, essentially 1v3 and win. So I don't hate that at all. We've got a few more bans to go through. Still looks like a few choices are potentially being mulled over. Okay, Groot actually is going to get banned away. So Modesto going to stick a thorn in that one. Choppa, I fear you will not be locking in that Groot. Not a bad ban in my eyes.
Last ban coming through. Daredevil, definitely a game changer, that one.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
We saw the playstyle and the effects that he had in that head-to-head.
Looks like we're all about locked in. Choppa, obviously a little bit sad that the Groot will not be allowed through. Magneto certainly can fill a very, very nice void there. Maddox just about ready to lock in as well, and then we should be basically all underway here. Snow will be picking up the Punisher again. They had a lot of fantastic plays on that. It is gonna, it's essentially just gonna be the same comp. Loon's gonna switch over to the Winter Soldier, but Static on the Gambit and Snow on the Punisher. Those are two things that I definitely like to see after they had some seriously strong plays in map 1.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah, good value. And y'all, Punisher matchup. Definitely probably see Punisher existing a little bit more from both sides, at least if they have the mirror comp. Choppa with that team up on Mag with Sanctity's Gambit.
3, 2, 1.
See if Modesto can get another early fight win. It was sort of them winning the earlier fights and Oregon sort of winning the latter half. Yeah, that's a good spot for the Punisher to be. Sit on a balcony, sit on that high ground, and rip people to shreds in the choke point. Oregon, though, okay, we talked about the Punisher being able to be punished. it's going to be Snow winning the 1v1 on the duelist, and that means Modesto is going to win this first team fight rather easily. There are only 3 players left. There is not a lot of healing to go around. Few more kills to get racked up by Static and crew. And now you get to send Young Whale to scout out the rest of the squad as Modesto begins the march.
Yeah, and they chase them down and get a good amount of progress in off rip. 45 seconds in, or just Young Whale throwing. I don't know what he's throwing, but he's hitting something. Boone. Oh, with the Bucky.
Actually, yeah, they got a kill too. And Youngwell got stunned, so actually really good out of Oregon. I was going to say, it looks like they keep just isolating these targets one by one, and fall they will. So ultimates don't really need to get invested from either side, I guess. Modesto still sitting on everything as well, but Oregon with a nice team fight win to at least slow some progress down. 2:35 left on the clock for Modesto, but obviously lots of time to get those checkpoints.
Yeah, Maddox has that ult online. We see how effective the Punisher ults can be, especially with these comp matchup. Nothing really able to counter it as we see Maddox pull it out and is able to find 2, push down a 3rd. That's going to slow down Modesto's push. 2 minutes left and they're about halfway there. But 4 ults online, 5 ults online for Modesto. Or 1v1. No one's respecting it. Get the response from Snow and his ult. He takes down 2. 4 go down.
Yep, you had to give that one over. Sanctity will, yep, there's no other way out except in a box. He will have to suffer a little bit of humiliation there from the Ducks, but honestly, it was 2 amazing fights out of Oregon. They bought themselves about a minute and a half extra of time that Modesto wasn't really able to get the push going, but now Maddox is getting caught out again. So despite all the offensive plays that Maddox was making, you know, basically like that point guard that will score 30 but doesn't play a lick of defense, it's like, that's amazing that you can find these kills, but gotta have you play both sides of the floor here. And Modesto, they get their Punisher traded out as well, and Chopper's just going to be able to take down half the team, but the trade's going back and forth. And Modesto able to find a few more, but Maddox has officially respawned, and they did actually stop them from getting the checkpoint, so Oregon denies them at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, 60 seconds left. If you can hold up for a team fight, maybe without ults, and maybe the next one, just use all your ults for Oregon, you can definitely see it closing out right here, but just know that Modesto, only ult they have coming up soon is that ult from the Burger, and Visagirl, Hideous has his online, and Sanctity's close to his. Maddox, couple shots in, has his up now. He is getting punished right now. Hideous finds nothing from his ult. But space, but he does go down. Maddox pushes up with his ult. Oh, I don't know what you're doing, buddy. That Thor doesn't shoot, he throws hands.
I will say, the rest of Oregon stepped up extremely well around the fight, and I've got bad news for Modesto. Your offense is already over 4 minutes gone in a flash, 115.18. I don't want to say that was, a, you know, no pun intended, a nothing burger of progress, but that was realistically like a team fight and a half's win worth of progress. So if Oregon can just kind of steamroll them and roll that snowball downhill early in the round here, I think this might be a very, very quick map too.
And I might have had a little bit of criticism on Maddox just walking down Young Whale with his ult and just getting swung on left and right. But the rest of his team was able to come in and wipe them out for him and get his trade in tenfold. So big ult value out of that for Maddox. And just Mr. Walking Death himself.
Listen, anyone saying don't bring a knife or a hammer to a gunfight has clearly never played Marvel, where Thor wins those every single time those two will try that, especially with that ulti online. That is not the person you want to be testing their metal on, but Oregon, 116 meters essentially, give or take a little bit of change there at the end. that will lock in map 2 and tie the series for you. So if you can just lock in as a team here, protect these carries. We did see Maddox, right? Despite the fact it was a bit of a feast or famine round, they were finding a lot of kills before they were getting caught out sometimes. So if you're going to play the Punisher and you are going to get caught, you at least have to make sure you're getting that value before you do go down. And speaking of value, Sanctity barely even got to spawn in, and they are already dead. So a nice little first blood from Modesto. Oh, wow.
And we see
Got
Lou
beamed.
pull off that Wolverine. He's just connecting. Snow's getting some good shots in. Oregon slows push this up.
Yeah, I want to see how aggressive Modesto actually wants to play, because if they try to go uber aggressive and they get
There it
caught,
is.
that's well. Speaking of getting caught, Maddox, you're going for a little trip. Will actually survive though, gets back to the team. Oregon does lose the Iron Fist in the meantime, but despite the essentially hostage taken by Loon, Maddox was able to escape back to the team. However, when you essentially steal the DPS away from the rest of the team, that means that Oregon's not really in a position to take a good fight, because the DPS has been taken to another continent. So they will eventually be forced to reset yet again. And now Modesto can sit on the... They've got the Magneto ult, the Rocket Raccoon ulti, and a few others that are essentially going to be ready to go. And we've seen Young Whale doing some work on the Thor, and oh, Wolverine's getting ready to go too.
Oh. Yeah, there's just ults going on all around from both sides. Both Thors came, I think, came out. Yeah,
Yep.
so many ults. Nope. I think Tidius kept his.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah,
he
you're
still
right.
has his. Yeah.
Oh,
Oregon is still making slow progress on this.
Loon?
They have not
Okay.
stopped. It
Loon
has
was
not
able
been
to
turned
escape.
back.
They did just kill Magneto, though, so this might open up a window of opportunity, and especially when you find a second kill. I was going to say the Wolverine's going to have to go nuclear here. It's the only chance to try to salvage the team fight, and Oregon is rapidly gaining progress. And I know I mentioned earlier that 116 meters wasn't certainly that much distance, but half of the time now gone off the table for the Ducks. As we see a few more players looking to get run down and spawn, the trade's going to go back and forth. It looks like Modesto is winning them out slightly. It's a 2-for-1 to get us going early. We do see Young Whale able to get back to the rest of the squad. Maddox will get back to their team as well. And you've got Bangarang trying to get a little bit of chip damage. Tidius is going to fall again. Another tank taken out. And all of a sudden, this is looking a little bit sketchy for Oregon.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, you have a couple ults left online, but your tank has died both team fights, and Loon just eats 12 gauges. Maddox feeds him and pulls out his ult. They only have a few meters left to go. 2 more ults come out, but Sanctity gets taken out immediately. And that's big, because he just used his ult in that fight right there. 3 go down from Modesto, 4, and it looks like that's going to be it. Oregon, the slow race, ends up winning them it.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, okay. We got Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to actually... This is going to be the most awkward stagger contest of all time, I fear, but Modesto, yeah, I think that may have been their actual last gasp. It will be. And Oregon, a bit of a wonky, weird map in many ways, but they will eventually, they will gain the advantage there in round 2. They will take it. Obviously, they only needed 0.01 meters to technically win the map. They get a little bit extra for assurance. And yeah, we're going to have a 1-1 series just like that. I think Maddox is certainly a worthy MVP. I hate to be saying the same player's name over and over, but they really were just making that many great plays in map 1. And even after getting caught out a few times in this map 2, I mean, they essentially just took over every big fight at the end.
Yeah, Maddox with 18k damage over there on that
Yeah,
side.
wow.
Yeah, he was laying down
Jeez.
lead. He was laying down lead. He was definitely just making some of those plays right there, and just some of those spaces. Just even if he was throwing his body out there, at the end of the day, it was attention in a trade. That's what it was, and it got his team, his ability to go in and just take out the rest of them.
And listen, I can understand the strategy. That's why you go in there, you get a bunch of kills, you earn the respect of the other team, because the second you rock up again, everyone's like, we got to deal with this guy. And then it's like, sweet, I got my boys behind me ready to absolutely dive everybody. And The team started playing very, very well at the end. The massive ultimates at the end swing the fight. Modesto certainly had chances to close out that round too. It just at the end, one kill happens and then another kill happens, and then you're ultimately just playing catch up with the cart, trying to see if you can stagger and stall ball any type of way, not to be in the second map. So Modesto, now you get to choose where we're going to go over to Convergence, and we're going to see, I mean, someone will break the series tie, so we're going to see who's going to have a 2-1 lead, going to go on series point after this map 3, which we'll catch you guys up with in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, yet again, as our Marvel Rivals Monday coverage continues here on the PCL. Oregon winning both maps were nail-biters. Map 2 especially came down to the wire. Oregon had maybe 35 seconds left to clutch up a few big fights in a row, which they did on the backside of some great play from Maddox and co. Sanctity got involved a lot there at the end as well, and already well into the pick and ban here. Daredevil and Moon Knight will both be kept on the table for the side of Modesto, and for Oregon, they want to keep the Venom, keep into that support comp as well, and we do see a few bans coming through. Nothing super different, but it does look like Modesto is starting to heavily target out that side of Oregon with the bans.
Yeah, we see a Gambit ban come in right there, and it is going to I think affect both teams. They both were running Gambit for a while, as we see Sanctity cycle through a couple before he settles down on that Invisigirl. Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of Gambit plays in that last one. Cloak and Dagger come out, and Hoagie switching it. I think Hoagie played tank the past 2 rounds, so he's going to be hopping onto the support side and pulling out that Mantis. Eric.
See, exactly. Yeah, we have a fair bit of swaps here. I think we saw Modesto protecting the Moon Knight, but I guess they decided they don't necessarily want to run it right now, which, I mean, hey, fair enough. We see them swapping over to the Ultron, at least for now, in Loon. See if that ends up making a massive difference. We got a Penny Parker spotting as well. Been a little while since we've seen one of those. I know this was, I was going to say, a little surprising. I know it was one of the OPs when the game came out 2 years ago at this point, year and a half, whatever. But Young Will has been excelling on the Thor so far, so I do not hate that whatsoever. Titius finally gains access to the Venom they've been trying to get their hands on for 2 maps now. So that might be exciting as well. Especially with Oregon riding high, a lot of momentum. You clutched up map 2. You barely let map 1 slip through your fingers. This very well could be a 2-0 series either way. Titius is already up to no good on the Venom.
Yeah, he's prowling up there. But yeah, both sides, I think we see some role swaps. No, I think Oregon staying fairly the same. Angerain going from that tank Deadpool to back to that Black Panther.
Oh my goodness.
Young Whale still on that Thor. Taking something with him. He's leaving with something.
I get my ones. That's about all that Oregon could say there at the end. And listen, it is a prideful trade. You did indeed get your ones. The fight, you could officially say the fight loss wasn't your fault to the rest of the squad. But Modesto, I mean, they just essentially pull the trigger, decide to hit the go button, and they're able to wipe out 5 players with relative ease. I mean, no ultimates are really even online. That's the second time that Titius has gotten caught out too, so maybe the Venom is ultimately a bit of a bait play. Can definitely see the playmaking potential and how strong it is and how strong they can be on it, but basically 2 attempts at a dive and 2 shutdowns, and now Bangarang going to be joining them as well, so Modesto putting that front foot forward, and they're trying to put that pace on the Ducks.
Oregon. Maddox does have his ult. Is that? Yep, I figured that's what he was going to do. Goes in and pulls it out, and Invisible Shield comes out from a Bastic. He gets shut down. More progress going towards Heart, but Titius has just been flying around trying to stall. As he ults, is able to find one.
Yeah, again, they got their ones, right? Right, guys? I got my one, and I got my one trade. Unfortunately, it was a 1 for 3. Modesto was able to clean up everybody else. Choppa was able to live on 1 HP for a few moments there, but not nearly enough sustain to hold on to the entire Modesto team. And we did see Loon actually eventually swap over to the Moon Knight, so not a wasted protect pick anymore. I was going to say, usually if you protect something, I'm assuming that it's going to get swung out sooner than later. Speaking of getting swung out, it is going to be Oregon getting demolished as we hit the midway point of the map. Modesto right now, I mean, this has just been such a strange series. Modesto looks like the best team in the world, and then Oregon just slams them 5 fights in a row, and now Modesto is barely losing players.
I mean, I think what the thing is just that with the support comp that's being used here, you know, you can't really get much value that you did when you dove when they had, you know, a Gambit, because Invisigirl and Cloak, they heal each other and they're able to sustain for a good amount. So it just farms their ults. You know, you may get some damage in and get your ult, but it's really the support ults at the end of the day that are going to be making some of the big differences in these fights. And as I say that, Error Code goes ahead and uses theirs to make some distance between the points. And they're stalling out with 5 minutes left. And they're halfway towards the point. They have plenty of time to sit here and lose a fight if they need to, or waste out the ults from the side of Oregon. You see it right there. No one died. It was just a lot of pushing
I
back.
was gonna say I thought for sure somebody was gonna die, but it was a lot of close 1 HP, and then support ultimates got online at the perfect moment. Sanctity gonna invest their ultimate as well. Young Will gonna be joining them, not able to find anything in the immediate future. That is a criminal thing to see on my screen. Unfortunately, we're gonna wait about 15 seconds. If we don't get any word, we'll obviously go to about a 30-second break if things don't change, but Modesto definitely looking good in the early going. We see Hoagie is mid-ultimate, which is certainly unfortunate. Same with Sanctity. You're going to have to hop back in and get right back to it. But until we get info on the pause, we're going to go to a 25, 30-second break if everything goes according to plan. And we're going to come back and try to continue with map 3 with Modesto looking good. More PCL in a second. Hopefully the tech issues are indeed behind us. Modesto was off to a very, very good start here on the map 3, off to a rather rocket fast start. 3.5 minutes still on the clock, still looking good. But Oregon, they have shown time and time again that when their backs are against the wall, they seem to perform, and Maddox is going to find another kill to prove me right.
Maddox has definitely been finding a lot of value in big plays with this Punisher, and I mean, even overall, Maddox has definitely been holding his weight, but wow. 3 from that Psylocke ult on Snow, the side of Modesto. They chase down the few stragglers for Oregon and get more and more close. Still 2 minutes left. Absolutely doable. I mean, Maddox, there's 3 ults on hand. Cloak and Dagger, you know, he can get in there. Ideus has his ult, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities yet, as Maddox is just lasering Young Whale there, and see Cloak and Dagger match up, both ults come out.
Oh, still back and forth. It looks like Oregon's going to win it, though. Oh, I didn't want to speak too soon because a few trades do go back and forth. Snow eventually will get taken down after they killed 5 out of 6 players in the previous fight. And Oregon will deny Modesto the finish.
Yeah, and only the two TPS ults came out, and Cloak and Dagger ult just to match the other for Oregon. And I mean, 25% up, error code. It's probably going to be able to get that relatively quickly, and that would definitely help keep them in the fight again. They still have the ability to play this well. Ideus dives in deep, pulls out his ult, finds one, is able to break up this back line, push them back. Psylocke all alone. She's gonna leave up out of there.
My tank is down. It is time to go. Young Will had to be forced to respawn. Tidius did actually get taken down a little bit later on, but the rest of Modesto was still on respawn, so not really any pressure they're able to take. And Oregon has essentially pushed them backwards in the last minute and a half, give or take, obviously before we went into the pause. Snow's going to pop the ulti again. This time, though, not going to be the same result. Not going to find the 5-man destruction. Instead, this time, it's going to be another player from Modesto going down early. And it looks like another player getting extremely low. Young Whale was able to get sustained back to full, but the Moon Knight's been taken out yet again. Tidius has been finding so many insane dive angles on the Venom. I can definitely see why it was getting banned out earlier. And now you've got Choppa scooping up the rest of the kills. And Oregon, fight after fight when they got to have it. And they just keep on pushing Modesto back.
And it looks like they're cycling these ults well for Oregon. Maddox and Tidius creeping up on theirs again. And error code back with theirs. 30% off or 20% off for the burger. So 10 seconds left. You can definitely see something happening. Tidius trying to hold them off. Error code pops out with the ult. So does Tidius. Three go down for Modesto. Strange
that's
portal
it.
up, but I don't think it's going to do anything as Oregon is putting down everyone. You're just feeding them through there. I mean, you may get a few quick stalls, but...
Nah, no chance they could win this.
Yeah.
There were way too many kills, way too quickly. Oregon's team play was excellent at the end. I did low-key think with the Strange, I said, okay, maybe if they can get lucky, get an ultimate. I did see Bangarang got the Wolverine ulti up at the last second as well, so someone very well may have been taken out of the fight anyways. Oregon, ultimately, it was still a good push from Modesto, all things considered. You finished about 75% of the map, but it feels like they've really just hit a titanium wall there at the end, and they couldn't move another foot past a certain point.
Yeah, and they had a good amount of time, but even I think that they had around 4 or 5 minutes at least entering that last point. So
yeah, and it was like 3.5. It was like 3 minutes before the pause or something. Like they had a good amount of time before the pause, and they had just won a fight.
Time for some fireworks.
hope we see the Penny
30 seconds
strat come out.
Got lineups.
Just
How's that?
yeah, so some lineups. I don't think it's gonna find anything, but oh, it does. It does.
Somebody died.
Yeah, they lost their Luna.
Interesting. I guess I hadn't really considered that being an option. I know it doesn't actually do anything, but that's got to be a slight checkout for Static where you're getting killed in the pre-round from a lineup. But listen, that's the nature of the game sometimes. Certainly a very funny nothing play, but makes for a fun clip if you are the Penny in that situation. But the Penny will be put on the back burner. We're going to get back to the same comps that we have been seeing. And yeah, Tidius and Maddox have been probably the two standouts for me, and a lot of these Venom plays have been the catalyst for how they've been finding so much success, but now you've got the opposing tank to go right for the back line. Young Whale certainly had a lot of good moments themselves, as the rest of the team now content to fight at the front line and see if Oregon can just end up winning this map in similar fashion and take a 2-1 series lead.
Hoagie on that tank with Mag. No, he's going up against two tanks that that are swinging. They say that Loon is gonna Loon and Snow both find one. And Moon Knight just quick with these ults again, just has those onks on the ground. No one's really shooting at him or aiming at him. And he's able to just farm those ults quick. But isn't able to get anything as Oregon pushes up, and seems like they're going to go ahead and capture this cart, start pushing up. 5 minutes on the board. And they're making good time so far.
Yeah, they've got a whole lot of time to operate. You mentioned that Loon did pop the Moon Knight ulti, and the second that ultimate went through, 4 of their teammates died, which is basically the biggest uh-oh scenario you could possibly write up. Luckily, a lot of time left on the clock to make heads or tails of the situation, but Oregon certainly just... They get these 30-second stretches where I don't know what gets into them. Tidius just finds a godlike angle on the back line. They're able to just kill them all in the span of 2 seconds. This time, though, you're going to have your Wolverine getting blooded, which means things may be looking a little bit dicey, but the follow-up with the ultimates is looking pretty damn good. Modesto able to sustain the rest of the fight. Choppa able to help out the rest of the crew as well. Tidius doing exactly what they've been doing, which is being absolute pain in the side and the back line. Young Whale is going to be on that Strange as well. The ultimate just about ticked over. Loon Noctis can possibly look for the opening salvo to get the fight going. But again, it's another Moon Knight ulti that may have done a little bit of damage, but it doesn't find any final blows. Oregon's going to have a few players stunned up, though. And finally, the finishes can come through.
And I think that was 5 ults Choppa just used theirs to start that fight off, really. And they're already back up at 70%. We saw just complete colors during that last team fight exchange right there, and looks like Modesto is going to come out on top and stall it for a bit, but I mean really still 3:40 on the clock. Oregon has a lot of time, good positioning. I mean, if anything, you're a bit comfortable. You have 4 ults just about online. Played a little slow.
My Venom is a little
As I
bit
say that,
too
Tidius
deep.
gets taken. Yeah, he got taken out right there. Trades go through. Still advantage to Modesto. But, I mean, still, Tidius can just join this fight within seconds. So he can swing in, no issue. So it doesn't even matter. Phoenix ult comes out from Maddox. He's able to get nothing.
Oh,
Ult's, yeah, ult's going back and forth.
Yeah, it looked like they were actually very well placed. Unfortunately, there was just way too much healing, and I guess there wasn't enough DPS ults getting stacked on each other, so while there was a decent bit of damage done, not nearly enough to actually find the final execution onto anybody. And speaking of execution, Modesto is getting absolutely ransacked now in the back spawn. Tidius is diving the back line, Edward Brock getting active on the squishies, and it looks like Oregon finding a few more of the kills they've been desperately looking for. This should be a freebie for Sanctity and Co. And Oregon, they are off to a lightning fast start right now. They are already past the midway point, and obviously they do not need to win the map. Granted, they have to come very close, so it is not going to be the easiest task in the world, but they are set up very, very nicely now.
Yeah, and a little bit less time entering this area than what Modesto had, but ult advantage towards Modesto as the fight begins to pick up. Wolverine jumping in there, not really finding much. Loon has just been throwing ults like it's just another button with a 5-second cooldown this entire match. Ayavagamoto is going to find a few, and Modesto is going to have a little bit of a breathing room as they win this team fight.
Young Whale and the rest of the squad clutch up when they need to win a, desperately needed fight, because anytime you can take the cart with the opposing team not being there, similar to Overwatch, you can slowly start to regress that progress, which is honestly, in a game like this, for how close every map has been, 4 meters may damn well make the difference between possibly winning this series, depending on map 4, and then losing if you're not able to clutch up in some of the fights. Tidius is going to get frozen in place, able to back away to safety to the rest of the team. Some good damage coming through from Modesto, and you talked about it. Loon Noctis, guess what ability is offline? That's the ultimate. That thing's going to be up and about right now. Hoagie's going to enter with their ultimate first. Modesto finds a couple of key picks, and I don't think they should need any other ultimates to secure the fight, considering Oregon is left in shambles, treading back toward the spawn. And we talked about all that extra time being potentially an added bonus for Oregon. Now it's 2 minutes, and they have regressed, honestly, 25-30 meters.
Yeah, and Boone already back up again. He uses his ult to open up, and he can just throw his onks down, and you see how quick that percentage just goes up. Hella ult comes out for Snow. He's able to stall out through the Invisi Shield. Finds one, isn't able to connect with the other. Gets traded out by Choppa. And all they have to do is just get a few meters. They don't have to go the full distance, so Thaddeus is going to go ahead and push up, try to stall out, and quick to get his ult. He gets ult. He gets 1 or 2 right here. Ayavagamoto comes out too, but it doesn't find anything. The trades go out, but the Luna ult comes out as well. And they're still up. Modesto still has a chance to keep this going.
It might be their last chance. Look how close the cart is. It's maybe 3 meters away right now. Okay, 9 meters. I apparently can't read the numbers at the top. 9 meters was the victory,
man.
But they do get denied for the time being. And yeah, Modesto they are really just icing up now. Snow is just rinsing people from across the map. That's like the 3rd kill in 5 seconds. Essentially all dealt the same way on the Hella. So finding a lot of value so far. Oregon, 9 meters and 34 seconds to do it. The funny thing is, we've seen this make this exact play on both map 1 and map 2 to success. The only thing is, can you repeat it a 3rd time? The ultimates are going to be looking fairly decent for them. Loon's ultimate going to be ready to go, as well as the opening engage. Looks like it's going to start from Oregon. A few players going to get stunned up, Young Whale included. And now the ultimate, possibly to try to swing the fight over. Tidius is able to find an angle on the back line. And I think Oregon may have pulled off a miracle again. Potentially get through the little pause for a moment, but only a few meters away, and they're actually going to find the team kill, basically. Static, the only one left standing. They're going to have to stall out now. Hoagie's going to swap to the Hulk. Oh my goodness, Oregon, they have done it again.
3, 2,
No one was able to get close right there, and Loon used his ult. And I think as many times as Loon got his ult, he used it, and his teammates would just go down all around him. I feel like the second they saw that ult getting popped, Oregon was like, all right, we're not going to back up. We're not going to sit in it. We're just going to push their team. We know their Moon Knight is stuck in an animation, so let's just punish him real quick or punish his team. And see the damage for Loon right there. Yeah, 47k.
Oh my
Almost
God.
50k damage right there. He was farming.
That is I wish there was a tracker of ultimates used as well, because I swear it must have been 20 or 25 ultis, and that's got to be the saddest part when you're like, ults up again, sending it in, and then you look at the kill feed and not one of your teammates is able to finish anything. Granted, not all of them were picture perfect, but when you're able to pop an ultimate in any video game like 20 plus times in a single map and you still find a way to lose, it's soul crushing, it's heartbreaking, but it shows that Oregon just, I don't know what it is, man. The second they're about to lose, it's like, okay, we need to lock in, time to ice up, clutch this, we got to get the series lead. So I give a lot of credit to them because it was looking very, very bleak for a little while, but Tidius and the crew, I mean, the Venom constantly going in 1v4 does get caught out a few times, but the times they don't, they're getting at least one kill with the ulti. So really, really good work from the Ducks. One more map to possibly decide our evening. Ball will be back in Modesto's court. They're going to get the pick yet again, as we will continue to cycle through the same order of modes, but possibly our last map of the evening here on the PCL. We'll bring it back to all of you people in just a few minutes. We are back yet again. Oregon clutching up again at the end of map 3. Modesto, it looked like they may have finally done enough to swing things in their favor, but ultimately it was not enough. The Ducks do trample and remain victorious, and now we are one domination away from Oregon wrapping up a 3-1 series, winning 3 maps in a row, no less. They did end up losing the map 1. We will eventually see how this one finishes, as the bans and picks are already complete. A lot of the same that we have been seeing. Daredevil getting protected, same with the Rocket for the side of Modesto. And of course, the Venom and the Gambit being protected this game from Oregon. I certainly do not dispute that decision.
Yeah, and Loon going to protect that Daredevil right there and get the ban for the Moon Knight on the side of Oregon. So doesn't really affect him. You know, he was doing work on both, as we saw in that last match. He was, you know, farming those ults, but I mean, that's what Moon Knight does at the end of the day. And we saw the work he put in the first head-to-head with the Daredevil, getting a lot of value out of that. So Snow back on that Punisher, Anger Ring, going again with the Vanguard, Deadpool. So we're going to see the 3-1-2 setup from the side of Oregon in this head-to-head.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
Well, if this map is
Maddox
any like the other ones,
solo DPS.
if this map's like the other ones,
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes doesn't matter. Let's just skip to the last team fight when it's 1-1, 99-99. Like, straight up.
See some dives.
Ideas doing what they do best, which is being degenerate on the opposing backline. We've seen the Venom get maximum value for a majority of the game. Young Whale, again, going to try to go for the same sort of play. Snow is able to find first blood, though, on the Punisher, shutting down Maddox with relative ease. Bangarang takes a decent bit of chunk damage as well, and Choppa also getting a little bit low. The Hulk providing some decent frontline, but I think the Hulk, okay, I thought they were maybe going to get caught out there, but ultimately it was more of a bait and switch. That means Modesto was able to find a few more kills. They get the early capture, and I feel like I am literally watching the same map for the 4th time with Modesto starting hot.
Yeah, that 3 tank setup is definitely a, interesting opening. I mean, especially with, the Deadpool, because all he has really is that bubble, but I mean, it helps with the Snow and the Punisher, but besides that, you have 2 big tanks with Thor and Hulk, so you're not going to find much value. And you see Snow still is just going to shoot through those shields, take out 3, get his ult online. Young Whale just used theirs, wasn't able to find much, but still a team fight win as Maddox takes a dive off the map. And that's 2 team fights that go for the side of Modesto. They already have 60% left, or 60% down.
Yeah, Nassim, though, have you been watching this series? This is exactly where Oregon wants to be. They don't really get online until they're down about 100% or a point and a half, and then all of a sudden it is put up or shut up time, and they've been putting up some serious damage in those last couple of fights. We are going to see the ultimates now getting invested from Modesto, though. Snow deciding they are not having any more fun after the last few maps, so why don't I just kill every single player that's on your team, Oregon? Taking the Ducks out one by one. And this is going to be the most dominant round of any map we've seen all night long. Oregon, I'm not even joking, they may have gotten 2 kills. Not even joking.
Yeah. Yeah, the ult came out early for the Cloak and Dagger on the side of Ericode. He wasn't able to get into it, got stuck on a wall there, so it's not going to be available for this opening fight. We're just going to have to win this off of pure gunny, pure skill. 2 go down, Ericode isn't going to make it into the fight for long. Choppa gets taken out by Loon. Still staggered, I mean, but you're not really going to have much when you have no healers and it's just you. This is going to be taken out 100 to 0 on this first point.
Yeah, that was That was quick.
And
That's one way to put it. That was very quick. Maybe a 2-minute round there of domination, and a fitting name for what Modesto just pulled off. And honestly, I can't say I'm super surprised. I don't want to say Modesto's been outplaying Oregon because they're losing 2-1, and that seems a little bit silly. But it does feel like a lot of the fights they're winning have been more like dominant team play, and Oregon is just world starring them at the right time in the right moment and just able to find that one big fight that really gets their momentum going. So listen, Oregon down 1-0. I think this is, not where you want to be necessarily, but they have certainly thrived when their backs are against the wall. Modesto, though, they have shown, like, those last couple fights, that's like the best of Modesto. And that's why I was really surprised when Oregon actually did come back. Not that I don't think they could, but Modesto would just look so good for like a 1-minute stretch, and then everything just falls apart.
And we see the switch up come out for Bangarang as he hops off that Daredevil, or Deadpool, goes for the Star-Lord. Hopefully he can find a little bit of value out of that, maybe dive on the rocket. Ult's coming out early in this matchup. We see 3 low right there for Titius, but he isn't getting... Nope, he's going to get taken out. Rez comes through the rocket onto the Gambit, and Modesto is still controlling this fight as they take down another and go to take the point. 11% only through for Oregon, but that's 11% more than you got last round, so...
I suppose it is certainly a small improvement from the 100-0 that we saw, but the fight's certainly looking to be in Modesto's favor, and obviously with the ult economy, it carrying over between rounds, Modesto was able to kind of unload a little bit more there in that second half of the fight. Oregon was able to hold on to a few more ultis. Gambit's going to look to get active now, and Chop was able to shut down Youngwhale nice and early, but the res is going to come through, and guess who on the ulti again? It is Snow. They have been impacting the game every single time this button has been forced. And Modesto able to clean up a few more kills. Sanctity in a bit of a rough spot. Titius is going to get stunned up on the floor for a hot second. And now Loon can get active with the Daredevil. The ultimate is invested. The kills are going through. And Modesto is at about 50-ish% now, as the percentage will continue to climb rapidly. And Oregon's tank is going to be sent back to reset with the rest of the crew.
Yeah, a few ults came out from there. Weren't able to find anything. Error code. Using theirs. Ult comes up for Young Whale, and he's in here. Yeah, he's going to use it immediately and try to get some stagger and some spacing in between them. And when you have that rocket respawn in the back line, you feel confident. But 3 are going to go down for the side of Modesto. Maddox pulls out this Neymar, pushes them down, and he's going hunting, and he's hunting well. 4 go down and side swap for Oregon.
I will say, I do like that I believe this was the pick that Maddox had during map 1 when they were just harpooning the enemies left, right, and center every single spot on the map. And I will say, I guess to go into Modesto's favor, the one map they did win was a domination, and they looked a lot better in that map than they did in the maps 2 and 3 as the rest of the map went to expiration. Snow's going to have the ulti online again. The double death machines are absolutely wheeling and dealing. A few more multi-kills for the Punisher. Hoagie's able to find another one, and Modesto wanting to make up for lost time. The one good thing for the Ducks, they were actually able to find the capture somehow amongst the chaos. The point is ultimately going to flip back over into their favor, and now they're going to be the ones forcing Oregon into a last-second team fight attempt. Realistically, they do have enough time to get a full stack on there and get ready, but especially when Hoagie's getting chunked down low. But Bangarang has already gone for the fight, so I think Modesto, if they can just navigate the rest of the fight properly, they should be okay. The ultimates are going to get exchanged out. Titius is going to get low. The bubble will come online in time. Choppa also going to be hanging in there on low HP, but they're able to find the shutdown onto Snow, who will eventually get brought back to life from Burger. So Modesto able to hang in there, but Oregon flips the point in the meantime.
Yeah, and Hoagie went ahead and used his ult, I think to prevent Choppa from using that portal, but he's able to go ahead and get the portal through, and the team falls through it. They take the point, but they lose the team fight following. I don't even think it full went through. Modesto. No one else that
That's
can
it.
test it from the side of Oregon. Yeah, I think they go ahead and take this. Modesto is able to close it out, and we're going to a map 5.
Yeah, domination might just be their game mode because the map 1 looked, I mean, it was their best looking map. It was obviously their only win of the series so far. And then later on in that series as well, the second round of domination, even more just one-sided is an understatement. And this was the main culprit, 25-4. I think that's 0 assists as well. So literally just, you are just taking people out at the knees
yeah.
if you are Snow. Yeah, I mean, that's literally give me the ball, get out of my way. 22k damage. Essentially equals the damage. Actually, he may have surpassed the damage of all the opposing DPS combined, even when there was 3 of them out there. It's pretty much the same number. So when you can get that kind of value, you are certainly in for a very, very good time on the server. And now we've got a map 5 that I have no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, we saw a lot of just back and forth. It's just straight ping pong matchups from both of these teams, and just even still, we see people adjusting mid-game, mid-round, and Modesto made it seem like that wasn't happening for the past 3 matches and just said, you know what, let's sit up, let's turn our games on, no timeouts, no nothing, straight raw gameplay, and they were able to close it out with the fashion statement of that one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if we're going to have to force a Punisher ban out to go into Snow because they've obviously piloted other heroes very well, but those are certainly going to be things to consider as it is going to be Oregon's choice of map now to close out the rest of the series, considering this is the final battle of the evening. We will go to a short break, our last break of the evening, and we're going to queue up the Ducks and Modesto for one final send-off, as we will find out the map and exactly how things are going to shake out. After our final break of the evening, more PCL to cap off the night of Marvel Monday. Coming to y'all in a few. one final showdown between Oregon and Modesto Junior College. It has been a back and forth series. Modesto winning the 2 dominations and Oregon winning the other 2 modes in the middle, Convoy and Convergence. And now we've got one more Convoy to close out the day. If that is anything to note, at least as far as the series has gone, Oregon probably going to be favored here, at least the fact that, you know, they've looked perfect outside of anything not named domination as far as closing maps out. Hero picks and protects, or protects and bans almost all the way through. The sides are going to be swapped as well, so left side now going to be the side of Modesto, as the overlay shows as well. They are going to finally ban away that Venom that feels like it was one of their biggest issues to deal with. We are going to see Jeff getting banned away consistently from the side of the Ducks. And honestly, I'm not really expecting to see much different.
Yeah, no protection coming through
Oh, yeah.
for Oregon. It looks like they opted out on one of them, but I mean... Oh, that
Probably didn't
Namor
matter.
getting banned, yeah. We saw Maddox. Maddox using that Namor was definitely something that affected the game here and there. So we're not going to see that. Maddox goes for the Phoenix.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Well, the age-old question is Modesto going to start out and win 7 team fights in a row just to make the map interesting? This is always the name of the game, at least earlier in the series. I would like to see Oregon get off to a little bit of a better start. We did see Choppa, I think, maybe playing the Thing way back in like map 1 or early in map 2, and it had slightly mixed results, but obviously things have changed. Oregon had a lead in the series, and they played a lot better since then, so certainly inspires a good level of confidence between the Ducks. As Tidius will be forced over to the Magneto with that precious Venom finally getting taken off the board. And we're instantly going to get a nice little skirmish and exchange, and looks like somebody getting caught out. Yeah, that's going to be Hoagie from the side of Modesto. Rez is going to go through, so not ultimately the worst thing in the world, but it is nice to see Oregon instantly finding a pick.
Yeah, Hoagie and Choppa. Hulk Thing matchup. Tail very famous in the Marvel storyline. But Hoagie just little stall out. It looks like Oregon's just gonna go ahead and take this. No one's really gonna push up. Okay. And Whale gets immediately punished.
What's going on, bro?
I guess, yeah, 5 minutes on the clock for Oregon as they go through and get this first checkpoint pushed up, and not much happening there. Hoagie switches off of the Hulk and pulls out the Rogue. Loon back on this Lucky as well.
I'm just still so confused by that first
threw
play. Little tag team action, I was going to say. Go long! And it is going to be a touchdown. Young Whale will get taken out. The Hail Mary will pay off. We are going to see Maddox investing the ultimate as well. Now possibly looking to clear out some more space for the Ducks. And I just have to go back to what we saw in that first checkpoint. I don't think I've ever seen in any hero shooter, this ain't a Marvel thing, where a team can get 2 kills and take half of the map, essentially. And now Modesto finally going to bite back fresh off their own ultimates. The Phoenix ultimate going crazy on the back line. And they're going to find themselves a team kill. So you know what? If you're going to surrender essentially the first third of the map for free, I do like to see that you dig in your heels very, very tightly here.
Already 50% of the way through, and you have 4 minutes up on this point at this distance. But ults. Yeah, Sanctity with that Gambit ult. That Gambit ult is very, very strong ult. Makes a very big difference in team fights, and we see it come through. Rogue pulls out hers and tries to get some sort of stun. Is able to get saved, doesn't go down. Sustaining Loon as his ult online is going to pull it out. Misses on the Phoenix as she comes out of her ability. Doesn't find anything, but it doesn't matter. Snow takes out Mag, and they push back Oregon back to their spawn.
Somebody hiding behind cover there. They weren't able to find the shutdown, but the result is the same for Modesto. You called it. They were able to shut down the Phoenix, or the Phoenix got shut down, and then ultimately they just found every single kill otherwise, so it didn't make too much of a difference. Now we are going to see Choppa looking to get active with the ulti. Possibly looking to line something up here, but not really able to find anything. No engage angle that could really be found without possibly inting the game slightly. So Oregon, they will fall back. They're going to let Modesto at least take a little bit more space here as they try to reclaim control of the cart. And again, 4 ultimates essentially online, close to 5 for the side of the Ducks. Surely it's got to be soon, but it's going to be hard when Chop is down. The second he goes down, Magneto's going to pop the ulti and Titus, and he's going to be able to find a kill on the back side of it. So Oregon potentially looking to open things up here as they start to gain control of the cart yet again. But Modesto, a few ultimates in tow as well. They are still here, sticking around and fighting it out.
Yeah, right there, Loon. He pulled Sanctity. He got him low. He hit just about everything into him, but wasn't able to do anything. And he's still up. Gets his ult again and matches. But Loon is able to connect on one. Does find a kill. Gets his second one. Gets the kill there, so he's back up. And he's going to use that last one just to get back to the team and stay at this choke point. And they cut down a good amount of time, about 2 minutes. They were at Oregon had 5 minutes entering this point, so they're able to hold out. I think they favor this choke a bit more.
Listen, something about archways in escort game modes that it is the hardest place to fight as an offensive team. It's the same in Overwatch, it's the same in a few other games. You get to this as sort of when you're trying to turn the corner somewhere. I feel like it opens up the high ground potential. There's obviously usually a few lanes you can try to flank from. We are going to see Maddox invest in the ultimate, a lot of damage going through as well onto Bangarang. And right now, Modesto, I mean, yeah, this is a tale of two teams. When they walk up like this and they communicate this well and play this well around each other's cooldowns, they look unstoppable. And Oregon, we said they had, I mean, maybe Modesto knew ball better than us. Maybe giving the first third of the map was the key to just getting, pitching a shutout in the second half. It's been like 3.5 minutes, and Oregon has essentially gained 0 progress.
Yeah, and they're cycling these ults beautifully as Young Whale has theirs up. Yep, and they're going to team it up with Gambit. But see a matchup and support and tank ults on the side of Oregon as well. Just ults just going back and forth, it looks like. Only one person died throughout that entire exchange, and they're back up in that rocket respawn. Snow is going to find one with their ult. They're just going to keep pushing back Modesto.
I know better than to count Oregon out because of what I saw the first few maps, but the momentum of this Modesto squad is certainly not something that I want to overlook, especially after how strong that domination was. Being down 2-1 in the series and then winning the cleanest map of the entire series between either team, that's got to instill a high level of confidence amongst the crew. We are going to see Bangarang finding a kill with the ultimate immediately, able to find backline access and find the dive onto Snow, who has been a pivotal player in this entire series for Modesto. So Oregon, overtime is officially on the clock. You've got a decent bit of progress still to make it, but you do have the ult advantage, and you did find first blood in the fight, so this might be the turning point.
Yeah, ults coming out from those Gambits are really saving a lot of these team fights as Sanctity has his in the pocket. But Oregon might be able to sit here and...
They're doing it.
They might be able to. I think they're going to. No way someone gets in there and contest it. You just get eliminated. No ults online. Unless they can pull out a hero play, Loon is going to get taken out. He was the only one with the ult online. Following him suit is Snow, but no contest is going to come through. What, minute 22 on the clock, and now Oregon has an opportunity to extend this the full way.
Oh my god. I feel like Oregon is the player I want, just like, I don't even care if they take a shot the whole game, but I want them taking the last shot of Game 7 in the finals, because I swear they decide to play their best when they literally have no other choice. That was overtime. The bar is halfway concluded. They ended up losing a player early in the fight, and then they just play flawlessly to end up shutting down Modesto, and that's after Modesto won, what, 7 team fights in a row with the most ease possibly of the entire day outside of the domination. And now they're looking to get back to that same sort of play style. The ultimate is going to fly in over the top. Tidius is able to take down the kill onto Loon. The res instantly going to go through, and Modesto is able to find a few more kills. That kill feed is a bright blue. Only one duck left sitting on the pond. Error code we'll have to wait for the rest of the family to rejoin. And 22 seconds left. This will, I don't want to say this will be Oregon's last push because we've seen some insane stuff today, but it more than likely will be.
Yeah, Bangarang with the only ult online, unless he's able to sit here and take out the rocket or the
true
Gambit, he's not going to find much, but multiple ults coming in for the side of Modesto to go ahead and close out this push, and 4 go down immediately, and again and again and again. Loon closing it out, calling game right there, saying, this is where your progression ends, and now it's their turn to go ahead and respond, try to get past 70.6 meters, and this is it right here. This is where we see all the fighting, all the marbles. Game 5, can Modesto close it out, or will Oregon hold them to less than 70 meters?
Yeah, especially I'm really interested to see how the first third of the map is going to go, because we saw half of a team fight and then half of the map was done, and then they ultimately just get completely shut down and turned offline toward the second half of the map. So I give a lot of credit to Modesto, right? I was definitely questioning some of the logic and the decision making. I know that obviously the defenders are going to have farther spawn, so it's not the easiest contest to go back if you lose the first fight, but it was certainly a little surprising with just the sheer mobility in some of the carries in this game, where you can literally get across the map in what feels like 5 seconds. But that defense, that is no slouch. It was no joking matter. They locked down every single thing. And we have one round of Convoy left to decide the entire series. Who is going to be the one to make the play? Tidius was a hard carrying on the Venom. Obviously, that's taken away. They've done well on the Magneto, but they just don't have that same explosiveness, maybe, that we saw with the picks that they were clearly comfortable on.
No, not at all. And something I also want to point out, Burger, playing that rocket. I mean, we've seen some of the plays in the last couple, matches ups. That rocket doesn't put out a lot of damage. That rocket is back there just shooting orbs, right? Giving value with that respawn. So it's sort of in a way, a small disadvantage, right? Because you have 6 against, 5 as far as damage goes, but still, if you have Modesto getting the support they need, Young Wale, Snow, they're finding those kills. Loon, especially, finding that value, finding just pokes when they need to. And as long as the raccoon's alive, the team will thrive as well. And the first team fight goes on their side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in Oregon, the timing that Modesto actually just got the kills was either very, very skilled mathematical equationism, or they just got very lucky. The second they got all 5 kills, with how far the cart was already pushed up, there wasn't even a chance for Oregon to actually come back and get a touch. They sent 2 players that had enough mobility to try to stall it out so the rest of the team could get there, but they didn't even really have a good chance to get on that cart at all. So Modesto, even though the defensive start was a little bit slower, they are already above pace from what Oregon pulled off for us. And if they can win another few big fights, I mean, this fight's over. The fight's over before it even begins. There's 2 players already dead on my screen. A few ultimates are going to get popped, but there's way too much healing from that Modesto side and way too much front line. I don't think Oregon's going to be able to hang in here too long, but they do some decent damage back the other way, but they still lose players in the process. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Rogue was able to stay up for a while, and it took about 5 of the side of Oregon, or 5 Modesto to take them out. But not gonna do much when you have Young Whale just playing this little cave entrance and just holding the entire team back. He gets sucked in, but is it really gonna do much? You're fighting to get out of your spawn, and they have 5 minutes on the clock, almost.
It might be more than 5 minutes too. This time bonus is about to tick over. I think they'll be at what? Maybe just over 5 minutes if they can find a few more kills. I think you get like a minute or so on the bonus. They're going to find a few of the last kills there as they tick over that second checkpoint. Yeah, you get a minute 30, so it is that full minute 30. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to get 70.61 meters. We have certainly seen arguably crazier things in the series, but they would seriously have to, I feel like, make some mistakes, Modesto, to end up losing this.
And Oregon, I mean, in a little better of an area, better choke point than you were. I mean, you have a better opportunity than you did in that second exchange, but as I say that, Modesto was just slow pushing this up, or no resistance at all. 3 ults come out for the side of Modesto. Just straight pushing back Oregon. No response. They're going back to their spawn. The cart's still going. Oh, gets contested in the meanwhile, but Young Whale and Loon they're diving together.
That's a good trade. Loon literally took on all 5 players, helped get 2 kills, eventually almost lived on 11 HP, but ultimately did live, and I feel like that might be the end of the series, Nassim. I mean, Modesto proving that they are not domination merchants here on Marvel Rivals Monday. They do eventually win a pivotal map 5. They stay undefeated on the season, pick up a big win against Oregon, and a very back and forth series. Modesto obviously winning the 1 and 4. I mean, if you want to equivalent this to like the Call of Duty Neslo, where you win all the in-between maps and the other modes, Oregon was almost able to take that one home without winning the dominations, but eventually Modesto, I mean, got back to their winning ways after that map 1 and that map 4, and they just took complete control of the game. You can see at the end there, Snow 25k in the bag, Hoagie and Loon also joining in 20k plus. And you mentioned it too, despite the Rocket Raccoon, you know, you do a little bit of damage. I think he had 1k damage, but 50 assists, 85 revives, it felt like 30k healing basically. So, you know, somebody has to drop ego on the team. You got to be that guy, support, pick up the boys when they fall. And we saw that, and we saw a lot of really good team fighting at the end.
Yeah, his mere little existence on the map is like, you know, like I'm shooting this guy and he keeps getting healed, but like from where? And you turn around and there's just a little guy, a little raccoon rocket, just throwing those orbs down. But ultimately, Modesto is gonna come out and take it, you know, in crazy fashion, right? These two teams went in an absolute slugfest back and forth. We saw, you know, last minute clutches and great performances on both sides. You had Loon, Snow, some of the DPSs just putting on great performances. Maddox as well, you know, his Namor ults just knocking down 4 at a time, you know, without any other team ups. But overall, great gameplay from both sides. Great participation and, you know, great teams fights from both.
Yeah. Both teams got a lot to look forward to later in the semester. Oregon, obviously, it sucks to lose an absolute grueler like that, but you literally came this close, and damn, you were icy the entire series. I mean, that series, it's one of those weird series where I felt like either team could have 3-0'd, but it also ended in like a nail-biting map 5 that, I mean, I say nail-biting, Modesto had like 4 minutes when they finished the map at the end there, so I guess it wasn't as close at the end, but it couldn't have been any closer. We had double, triple overtimes in 3 of the 4 maps earlier on, so certainly the best effort that both teams could put forward, but Modesto, you get to keep that clean, undefeated record. Oregon, obviously, first loss of the year, nothing to hang your head too low about. Played a phenomenal series either way, but that is all for the Marvel Rivals Monday coverage. Nice to get our first one of the year under our belt, so we got to give our special shout-outs and thank yous to all the wonderful partners helping power the PCL, starting things off with, of course, the company that you have been seeing all year long, our friends over at Respawn Products. They are the official gaming chair of the PLAYVS College League. And if anyone's interested in staying comfy and locked in during those long ranked sessions, you can head on over to respawnproducts.com and use the code PLAYVSTEAM to snag 10% off with that promo code. Obviously, some of the best in the business. You've seen all the ads, people. You can go full horizontal, full vertical to stay locked in. You can go in space mode, sport mode. Those chairs basically do everything, man. They are sweet. And of course, the rest of our lovely partners here at the PCL, Asus ROG, Republic of Gamers, some of the best gaming tech in the business. You've seen it, you've used it across all the major esports in the globe, and Extra Life and Monster Energy, who have been holding it down for us. Everyone who's been in the gaming space, you know how much these two have been pinnacle to putting so many events and helping so many people. And of course, for any information you want surrounding the PLAYVS College League, PCL.GG is going to be your one-stop shop to catch up with all the standings, results, rankings, see when all your certain matches might be getting scheduled for stream. So anyone looking for more info, PCL.GG is the space for you. And of course, thank you to Ryan and Bruno for locking down the back end. Always have an amazing time with the Simon cast. We will have a few more coming up during the week as well. Going to be, I believe, order of operations is R6, Overwatch, Valorant. I'll hold till Ryan confirms. Bang, 3 for 3. So that is going to be the rest of the week. So we will see everybody back in for some Rainbow Six Siege X tomorrow. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your evenings. I'm going to go try to survive the rest of the blizzard with my compadres. Everyone have a good evening. Take care of each other. We'll see y'all tomorrow.